Hi all and welcome to my channel, where I cover all things mountain biking. Today I'm going to show you all how I dealt with storing my bikes in my apartment. This solution is great for anyone who's limited on space and wants to make the best of every inch in their home, and have a pretty cool looking solution at the end of it all. So stick around and I'll show you how to install a pulley system like this one in your own home. So every time I get home from mountain biking, I lug my bikes up the stairs and I stick them in front of the fireplace in my living room. It takes up a ton of space. I really wanted to use up the space well in my house. So there was only one area, and that was this big area above our stairs. The ceiling's really high here, and it was the perfect place to hang our bikes from. But I wasn't even sure if it was possible. I enlisted the elite help of my friend James to get up into my attic, figure out how the hell we were going to hang these things. As we got up into the attic, we realised there was insulation everywhere. So we lifted it, and upon lifting it up we realised the lats in the attic run parallel with the stairs, which isn't ideal for putting those pulleys up. So we decided we needed to install something between the lats to support the pulleys out of. So I ordered the pulleys off Amazon, and I'll put the link in the description because they're actually pretty good. They're Silverline. I don't know who that brand is, what that brand is, but they had pretty high ratings, so I decided to give them a shot. Now inside the box what you're going to get is two pulleys that have hooks hanging off them. These are what are going to support the bikes. You're then going to get two brackets. Each bracket has a pulley coming out of it, and one bracket has a little locking mechanism going out of it. You get a bracket to put on the wall to wrap the excess rope around, which is pretty reasonable rope. I saw some comments saying they replaced it. I ended up using it, measured it, and on its thickest side it's about 5mm, and on its thinner side it's about 2mm. You get a packet of screws, which I opted not to use. I used heftier wood screws, and you get instructions that are about as useful as the picture on the front of the box. So we got out our nice long piece of wood and got to measuring. The lats were spaced out 580mm in the attic, so we cut these up into 580mm sections. After the sections were cut up, we got these two steel brackets. We installed one on each end of the section, secured them in with 3 screws, nice big chunky wood screws. We used the length of the bikes as a guide as to where to install the pulleys, and we added on an extra 200 or 300mm just to space them out. We brought the wood sections that we cut earlier up into the attic, placed them down between the lats in the attic, and this is what we were going to secure the pulleys out of. Also, just ignore the fact that I was drilling around wires. I don't advise anyone does this. So we got the pulleys out and ready to go onto the roof. Just to make things a little easier, we used some double-sided sticky tape to secure them onto the roof, and then drilled them in. We measured the clearance we'd need between the two bikes, which was about 400mm. This was the distance that we installed the pulleys away from each other, to make sure that the bikes wouldn't smack off each other too much, and still wouldn't hit the walls. We installed the pulley with the catch mechanism at the top of the stairs. This way we'd have easy access to the rope hanging down to lower and raise the bikes up. So the incredibly useful instructions we got with these showed that the rope was secured somewhere or another up into the bracket with a single pulley mounted to it. The rope actually threads up through the hole at the back of that. and you're supposed to knot the rope at that point. And that is just a permanently fixed point. So after staring at the front of the box and the instructions for way too long, we managed to get the rope threaded around all the pulleys in the right manner. And voila, we had a pulley that lifted. After all the pulleys were in the roof, then it was just a case of threading through the pulleys with the hooks on the end. And then threading the rope through the catch mechanism. And that's actually what holds the bikes in place when you pull the rope down and release it, or let the rope up and release it. That little catch holds onto the rope. We then installed the little bracket on the wall that the rope winds up around when the bikes are fully suspended. And I opted to only use one of these. I thought it was just tidier for my install, rather than having two sticking out of the wall. So we had given up at this point because, well, it had gotten late. And the next morning I'd realised I wanted these hooks to secure into the wheels of my bike. This meant that the hooks and the pulley would be turned at 90 degrees and wouldn't be in line with the pulleys in the roof. So what I opted to do here was unbolt the hooks at the bottom of those pulleys, rotate those 90 degrees so they could hook into the tires, and that would keep the pulley on the hook in line with the pulley in the roof. And the next thing to do was to bring the bikes down and fumble while I tried to get them onto the hooks for the first time. This is something, the first time that you're doing it, it feels really difficult. But after some time, it actually feels pretty easy to do now. All in all, I'm really happy with this. It's gotten the bikes out of the living room. The only thing is, my cat likes to play with the rope when it's extended out, but it's a small price to pay for having the bikes out of the living room. And it's kind of a cool feature. People come in and they look up at our bikes hanging from the ceiling and go, oh wow. So yeah, if you live in a small apartment or small house and you don't have too much space, and you have some dead space that you want to use up, try something like this. It worked out pretty well for me. And my cat seems happier.